Hi, I'm Terry Miller, founder of Total Life Pursuit. Welcome to part 3 of this video series. And this series is dedicated to pastors and leaders and organizers and boards and councils to really take care of those leaders. Take care of those leaders so they can lead the organization even better. In this video, we're going to talk about rejuvenation. Something that is really missing in most leaders' life. So let's get into it. Everything in creation is on a cycle. It's on a rhythm. For instance, every day has 24 hours. The earth is spinning on an axis. Every year, the earth is orbiting around the sun, 365 days. The moon has cycles. The moon influences the tidal cycles. We have seasons, and that changes with the cycles of the axis and the cycles of the earth and where it's at in relation to the sun. Women have cycles about every 28 days or so. Men have actually a cycle as well, about 24 hours. The ground has cycles for growing. And we all have sleep cycles. We call it circadian rhythms. That is part of our rejuvenation. That's part of our cycles. The question I have and the thought with this video is, what cycle are you on? What are your rejuvenation cycles? How do you allow yourself to rejuvenate? How do you purpose yourself to rejuvenate? Some churches have Fridays or Saturdays off. I never quite understood that. But maybe that works for you. The question would be, do you feel the pressure release valve? Do you feel like you don't have any expectations that day and you can truly take it off? Are you free from work? Do pastors and leaders have a real day off? Pastor, do you think you have a day off? I mean, a real day off. All the day is day off. How about a weekend? Most of our culture in America gets a weekend. A lot of Western culture gets an entire weekend. One day is really meant to do all your chores, or in our culture is take the kids to sports. The other day is meant to rejuvenate. It's the Sabbath. Do you remember? I remember, because I'm old, everything was closed on Sunday. Everything was, like liquor stores and gas stations were the only thing open on a Sunday. Pastor, do you think you need the day off? Are you Superman or Supergirl? Is there too much to do? You got just too much. The church work the ministry work is just too much. I can't take a day off. I'm just too important to take a break. After all, everything would fall apart if it wasn't for me. People would leave Jesus if I stopped having meetings all the time. Now, I'm not here to lecture you about the Sabbath or anything else. I'm surely not going to have a theological treatise on the Sabbath. But I do want to talk about this idea of having a day of rejuvenation. I'm here to remind you that you need to rejuvenate. Your soul and your body need time to rejuvenate. This is what Jesus said about the Sabbath. He said to them in Mark 2:27, Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Did you get that? Jesus was giving you something. He was giving you a gift. He's giving you something as a gift, as enjoyment, because you need it. He made the Sabbath for you. So let's take advantage of it. And not just take advantage of it, let's enjoy it. I know there's plenty of things to do. There are good things to do all the time. And so many of them are really good and really important. I get it. But take a day off, and that day off is supposed to be enjoyed. A day off is just that. It's off duty. Obviously, you have children. When you have children, you're never quite off duty. Especially the moms listening to this, they're like, I'm never off duty. I always got to do this and that and the other thing. I get it. I'm a dad. I still had things to do as well. If you're a homeowner, things happen and you got to fix them. And oftentimes it's on your day off. I get that there are special times, special things. I get it that we're not 100% Sabbath law here. And I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, can you rejuvenate? Do you rejuvenate? Boards, councils, do you expect your pastor to be a 24/7 pastor? On call. Now, I'm not talking about the outliers. Let's not think about the outliers like somebody went and had a heart attack and you got to go. I get it. You got to go do there are outliers there. But the normal rhythm of life is having a day off. The plan of God, the creator of the universe, a day off. That's what he did. Seventh day, rested. I had 8 children. Did I mention that? 8 kids. It was hard to have a day completely off, but we had a day that was dedicated to going out having fun. Mondays were surf days. We went to the beach and we went surfing and we had a lot of fun. And in the winter time when it was kind of too cold for at least for mama at the beach or all the babies or whatever, then we went to parks, or we would buy tickets to Knott's Berry Farm or an amusement park close by, and we would go there. That was our thing. It's kind of good to have those passes because then you don't feel like, you have to spend 10 hours there, because that's not rejuvenating. We would go spend 3 or 4 hours, have a great time, have some lunch, and enjoy each other's company. I know that there are seasons in life that necessitate a lot of busyness, but you have to have a rhythm. How about getting a hobby? You could do that on your day off. Take a bike ride, watch a sunset, watch a sunrise. How about we include our spouse in some of these things? And how about this? You spend an extended time with Jesus. Whether it's getting up early or sleeping in late or whatever you're going to do. Spend time with Jesus. Talk with him without anything to get to. Jesus said, I don't know, somewhere in a gospel, maybe Matthew 12:8, he said he was the Lord of the Sabbath. Is he the Lord of your Sabbath? Do you let him make the decision on what you do on your day off? Don't have a day off? That's what we're talking about here. You're going to have a day off. I once talked about having a day off on Sunday morning. Wanted to educate the church on what a day off was for the pastor. And so I just made it really funny. Had a lot of funny one-liners in there. I said, okay, you could call me if somebody's critically hurt or injured or there's an emergency situation or somebody died. For sure you can call me then. If someone was in a tragedy that would make the local news, then you could call me then. If you wanted to say hi to me as a person, as a friend, bring a gift over, something like that, no problem. Call me then. If you wanted to take my wife and out to a high-class steak dinner, go ahead and call me then. If you wanted to give me professional sports tickets, hockey, baseball, basketball, football, go ahead. Call me on the day off. I made it funny, but I said, if it's not one of those, don't call me. And we all had a good laugh. But it set a culture in the church that I am not the 24/7 butler to answer their every request. And then I needed a day off. And then I went on to teach them how they need a day off. Remember, you're not Superman or Supergirl. You can have a day off. Tell them God said so. My question is, what rejuvenates you? What floats your boat, flicks your boat? What does it for you that you feel like, whew, I feel so rejuvenated? That's what you do on your Sabbath. Now, boards, councils, don't penalize your pastors or leaders or whoever. Don't penalize them for having a day off with double the work on the next day. Don't do it. Don't do it. And don't make them feel bad for having a day off. And I would say penalize them if they don't take a day off. In fact, make them take 2 days off. In fact, drive them to a hotel in another town and take their phone from them and say, you have to spend 2 days here. Here's some money for food. I mean, blow their mind. I hope someone's laughing on that. Okay, let's talk about sleep. Sleep, kind of important. I know we can train ourselves not to get more than 5 or 6 hours and be just fine. Of course, you need your coffee in the morning, don't you? I could explain physiologically why that works. I'm just going to say this. The caffeine in the coffee gives you a false sense of you're not tired, of you're okay. I see pastors, they drink coffee all day long. Why? Because they're exhausted. They're not getting enough sleep. Pastor, you don't need to be up all night or up early in the morning. I was talking to one pastor and they said, oh, I just love to wake up early and spend time with the Lord. I'm just really, really into that. I love waking up at 4:30. And I said, that's great. Go to bed at 9. Oh no, Pat, we have so many things at the church and we do this and we do that and blah, blah, blah. I never get to bed before midnight. That's 4.5 hours of sleep. And you think that, I didn't say this to them, but we think that God is somehow calling us to 4.5 hours of sleep. That's not how he made it. Remember that cycle, those cycles and rhythms I was talking about? The whole sun goes down. Your body is created to get tired when the sun goes down, right? And when the sun comes up, your body is really created to get up with the sun. You have hormones in your body that are secreted. Some are high at night and low in the morning. Cortisol, low at night, high in the morning to get you off. Melatonin, you've heard of this. They have little pills. In the morning, super low. At night, super high. Why? To go to sleep. What signals it? Eyes are a big one. Blue light, other light as well, but blue light's a big one. It signals sleep. So will you go to sleep? Will you get some sleep? How much sleep does your body need? Can I just be really practically honest with you? If you can fall asleep in less than 5 minutes, you're sleep deprived. I know everyone just went, well, I can fall asleep in less than 5 minutes. Yep. If you need an alarm to get you up in the morning, you're sleep deprived. The reality is our bodies need 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep per night. And I know there's a lot to do. But you know what I have found in my life? Because, I was one of these guys, going. I didn't get 4.5 hours of sleep. I'd usually get 6.5, 7.5 hours. But I was going. And here's what my body said. You can't do that. I'm going to ruin you. Sooner or later, this kind of thing catches up with you. Studies show us that 6 hours of sleep or less for 10 nights in a row equivocates your mental cognition with someone who is legally drunk. So the reality is, it is harming you, it is affecting you, and you just don't know it because you're used to it. Now, I know everyone's the outlier. No, not me. My genetics allow me. I know everyone's the outlier. You're not the outlier. You need to train yourself to get some really good sleep. So many good things happen to your body. I won't go into it, but you need your sleep. Let's talk about vacations. Vacations? Am I supposed to have a vacation? Oh no, probably not. Probably not a vacation because who needs a vacation anyways? You do. Here's a stat for you. 65% of pastors feel they have not taken enough vacation time with their family over the last 5 years. I have a solution. Call me a genius. Are you ready for it? Take more vacation time. This is where I want to be European because Europeans have this holiday thing. 5 weeks or 7 weeks a year. It's crazy how much they have. But they know something that we do not know. And what they know is they need more than 2 weeks. My workaholic dad and alcoholic mom didn't exactly raise me with a lot of attention. But I will tell you, one of the best times of my life that I remember, the best times, not just one, are vacations, family vacations. We would go away, except for the absolutely horrible cigarette smoke in our little trailer because they were both chain smokers. Except for that, vacations were the best time of my life. Vacations are great. I know some are saying, hey, well, 2 weeks, that's a standard. I don't go for standard, I go for remarkable. Okay? And I want you to go for remarkable too. I don't know what that looks to you, but I'm really not interested in what standards are. I'm not interested in what everybody else gets or the average everybody else gets. Not interested. What I'm interested in, what's God say? What's God say that I should be taking as a pastor or a leader? Councils, boards. What's God say that you should be giving your pastors and leaders? There are things you got to take care of, like rejuvenating, getting a new lease on life, having a little fun, de-stressing, detoxing, getting away with yourself, with God, with your family or your spouse if you're married, whatever. It's getting away and enjoying God's great life. I propose, take it or leave it, I propose 4 weeks. 4 weeks a year. Now, I know you're thinking, if I left the church for 4 weeks, oh my gosh, what would be there when I got back? I get it. One time, I left the church for 3 weeks, 3 Sundays I wasn't there. Yeah, that didn't work out so good. We got back and I was like, oh no, what just happened? There were problem after problem, so I never did it again. So here's my proposition. Take a 2-week vacation or a 2.5-week vacation, and then after that, take little mini vacations. Use that 4 weeks up. Now, I know some people are going to get all jealous. Oh, I don't get 4 weeks and the pastor gets 4 weeks. You don't need to listen to small-minded people who are comparing with everybody. You don't need to listen to them. Who you need to listen to? God. He's your decision maker. So why don't you listen to him and ask him, how many weeks of vacation should I be getting? Or should we be giving? Our staff and our counselor, our pastors. One more thing before we go. I took a sabbatical after 22 years of ministry. It's probably too long. I mean, even the earth is supposed to rest. The ground is supposed to rest once every 7 years. But somehow, Superman here didn't think he needed that or couldn't see a way to do it. And I think it's both. I couldn't see my way to do it. I wish every denomination and association of churches would make this happen. And I know it's not easy. It just so happened in my life that it became easy because of the situation I was in ministry. But it's not that easy. And I get that. But it's profitable. My buddy works for Intel. And when he went to work for Intel, he said, Terry, you're never going to believe this. After 6 years, you have to take 6 weeks off. They force you to take all 6 weeks in a row. That's in addition to your, by that time, 4 weeks of vacation. And you can't cash it out. And I thought, Intel is a for-profit company. Yet they knew a secret. If you allow your employees to rejuvenate, then they will be better employees. And I submit to you, you will be better ministers, better leaders, better preachers, more empathetic. You will be better, more grounded. And you will have more joy because you'll be enjoying your life with the wife of your youth or the wife of your old age or husband or whatever, and your family. God will make a financial way. There are cheap ways. There's places that you can go for a week or two to take a sabbatical. There are houses all over America that people will give you a room free. There are ways to do it, but I understand there's a financial burden, and we as pastors don't exactly have a lot of money to spend on some big Hawaiian vacation. I get it. Ask God for a way and tell him what you want to do. And then let's see what happens. Now, who's going to take care of the church? That's the big question. I don't have all the answers. I just want to propose a few things. Number one, call an older person and have them come preach for you and make sure everything goes okay in the church. Okay? The other thing is, if you're in an association of churches or a denomination, have another church that's close by, have one of their staff members come over. Ask them to work or to preach on Sunday mornings, or do whatever you do in your organization, and spell you. It can happen. There are plenty of people, retired ministers, that would love to step in and help you out. And believe me, they don't want to take your church. They want to step in, help you out, and then they want to go back to their retired life. Councils, boards, ensure the rejuvenation of your pastor. And if you do that, you'll be rewarded, because the pastor, the leaders, they will be rested and rejuvenated. Not only will your organization be rewarded in that way, but according to Jesus, there's another reward that you will reap as well. So listen, I hope I've given you stuff to chew on. I hope I've given you some thoughts. And I hope that you will reevaluate how you rejuvenate and rest and come back stronger the next week, the next day, and the next year. This is Terry with Total Life Pursuit.